Hey guys, musicninjamat here. Spent all day in the cinema today going to see Into the Spider-Verse and Aquaman. The Aquaman review will come later, but right now we're looking at Into the Spider-Verse. There will be spoilers for the movie throughout the video. There will be time codes down below for everything that I'm going to talk about. So first up, looking at kind of the plot. So this is a very established universe. We're not getting origins left, right and centre for villains or anything like that. This is truly for existing Spider-Man fans, and I actually really like that. The plot is so simple, and that's actually quite nice. It's just that the spider people from different universes want to get back home and shut off the super collider that Kingpin has, as it's pretty much gonna tear Brooklyn apart. This movie is packed with cool references. We see that Peter Parker of 1610 has this base and it's got loads of different suits, and we see stuff like the stealth suit and the Spider-Man PS4 suit, and there's just loads of little Easter eggs there. At the start of the film there's a little label that comes up saying approved by the Comics Code Authority. I thought that was a very nice little touch. In Miles's phone there's a contact that's B. Bendis, which of course will be Brian Michael Bendis, who wrote a lot of Ultimate Spider-Man, and this film is very much set in the Ultimate Universe. I know that because when you see portals to universes being opened, there's a screen that shows we're in 1610, and it shows you all the different other Earth numbers that are being opened. We get a Stan Lee cameo, of course. It's him in a store and he's selling Spider-Man outfits. When we meet Peter Parker of 1610, he sort of sums up his career, and there's nods to all the movie Spider-Mans, and there's a really funny part where he goes, and of course I did this, and it's him dancing down the street, and obviously it's taken from Spider-Man 3. The soundtrack is awesome. It suits Miles's music taste. It's just a really good soundtrack, and it always fits the mood perfectly and really just amps up the movie. The presentation of the film is amazing. The animation I was so excited about really holds up. There's loads of like glitch effects that they do. Miles's thoughts are all in word bubbles. They do like the Scott Pilgrim thing of certain sound effects will be shown on screen as well. I just love when comic book films do this, where it feels like it's really jumping off the page. So looking at the characters very quickly, Miles is incredibly likeable and relatable. He's got such a strong heart in this movie, and he's an amazing character that really gets a chance to develop. And it's nice because it's a proper zero to hero feel with him, because he's very goofy at times. We meet obviously Peter Parker of 1610, and he's just really switched on, really good at being Spider-Man. The way he solves problems and fights is really cool, and he actually ends up dying in the movie like the Ultimate Universe Peter Parker, and it's a very hard-hitting death, because even in death he's still making jokes. The more slobby Peter Parker that we meet, who's our main Peter, his whole arc is just about becoming better and not giving up. And Miles kind of inspires him, because when we meet him, he's broken up with MJ, he's very sort of out of shape, he's almost given up. So it's nice seeing him climb back up and become the Spider-Man we know. Another nice touch is there are different voice actors for all the Spider people, and I think the different voices show their different personalities. This is the best Aunt May we've ever had, because she's very capable at fighting and she's just a badass. We of course have our Spider team, so Gwen, again, she's very capable. Like, we see she's so much better than Peter at Miles at just being a spider person. Spider-Ham was not used much, and I'm glad, because he could have got very annoying very quickly. Luckily he didn't. He was used very sparingly. Spider-Man Noir, Nick Cage smashes it. He is easily the funniest character in this, and I love the Noir theme, because there's a bit where Peter's like, how is there wind blowing on that guy? We're in a basement and his coat's blowing in the wind, and he says, well, the wind always follows me and it tastes like rain, and he's very noir. And Penny Parker has a slightly different, more animation style, and she's the one that's most fun to watch when she's fighting. Overall, these characters weren't actually introduced until very late in the film, and they are supporting characters characters, and this is very important because it lets us focus on Miles and Peter. Miles's mother didn't get a lot to do in the film, but his dad is a huge part of the emotion in this movie. There's an amazing scene where Miles has been webbed up and his mouth's webbed up because they were trying to keep him safe, and his dad is just pouring his heart out to him, and he's saying, look, you can ignore me if you want, I just need to tell you that I love you and you don't have to say it back. And they're just both on either side of the door, and it's such a heartbreaking moment, and you really see this amazing relationship between Miles and his dad. With the villains, we have a few, but Scorpion, Green Goblin and Tombstone really don't do anything in the movie. We have Doc Ock, but it's Olivia, and having a female Doc Ock was actually incredibly refreshing to see in this movie. Prowler is in the film, who is of course Miles's uncle, and the theme here is that Miles really looks up to his uncle. He goes to his uncle when he's fallen out with his parents, and he goes through the trauma of finding out his uncle's a bad guy and watching his uncle die. And this is when Miles learns, like, being Spider-Man, you are going to lose people. And Kingpin is the main villain, and what I really like is his motivations. He's using the Super Collider because he wants to open up these different universes, because in his universe his wife and son are dead, and he's trying to bring them back by finding other versions of them from different universes. However, the Super Collider will, as I said, kind of just break Brooklyn, so they need to stop him. He uses it a first time, and that's what brings all our characters into this universe, but they know that the second time will really be even worse. Also, it is Kingpin that kills the Ultimate Universe Peter Parker, and it's quite brutal. The whole ending scene, battle thing is really epic because Miles is told, like, you're not ready, you can't even control your powers, and getting the scene of him mastering his powers, getting his suit, going into battle, it's all amazing and so fun to watch because all of this happens after that talk with his dad as well, so the emotion's there too. Miles knows what he's fighting for. It's clear they have a sequel planned for this movie, because at the very end we hear Gwen's voice saying hi to Miles. There's a nice nod to Stan Lee as well, his opinion on heroes in a little quote. And we get a nice post-credit scene where we see Spider-Man 2099, and he goes into the 60s Spider-Man cartoon, meets that Spider-Man, and it's hilarious the back and forth they have, and it's done in the proper 60s animation style. This film was just straight up fun. It was very character driven. The characters were incredible. It didn't necessarily blow me away, but it was just a good film. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, as it really helps the channel out. Check out the links in the description down below. Check out the whole channel, especially the playlists, and I will see all of you in the next one.